Hey, what's up? I was just shooting content for program updates, which is going to be releasing later in July. And essentially just some idea just hit me of creating an ad targeting agency owners that is talking about lead generation agencies. So the agencies that do lead generation for other agencies. And really the nightmare situation that's being created here. Can I make this any bigger? The nightmare situation that's being created here, where we have lead generation agencies who sign up for a lead generation agency to help them generate leads and appointments for their agency. Now, I want to, okay, my tonality is coming across like this is a bit of a rant. I think I'm very emotionally charged right now, which is probably the best reason, the best time for me to shoot this video and hopefully get across to you exactly what I'm hoping to get across. And I'm not ranting, I'm not angry, I feel very calm, but I want to get this across to you because I feel quite upset for people. And that's why I want to make this video today, because understand that if you are a lead generation business and you're going to another lead generation business to fix your lead generation problems, you're creating a problem in your fulfillment, in your service delivery, because you are a client acquisition agency. That's what you do. You help people acquire clients. And then you're going to now go and offload that to another agency. You're going to go to another agency and you're going to say, hey, I need you to book me meetings. All right. On the odd chance that they actually deliver, which seems like these days not many of them do, but on the odd chance they were able to deliver, amazing. You're going to feel great. You're going to have all of these sales calls coming in. You're good. You're in a very happy place because you've got meetings coming in. You don't have to do much except show up. And in the best case scenario, you're signing clients. You're signing clients from that. Sure, you've got to pay these lead generation agencies, but you're signing clients. In the best case scenario, you're signing clients, but you don't know how to do lead generation. You don't know how to actually set up a client acquisition system in the first place. So what happens now is that you get the client, you sign the client, you're like, woo, got the client. And then you're like, well, what do I do now? How do I get this person results? Now, if you are a digital marketing agency or social media marketing agency, as most of the people that follow my content are, then your niche is probably not other agencies. Your niche is probably, any other niche. I'm not going to mention niche because that sets a bias. There's no bias here. Any other niche. But the idea of client acquisition is the same. Whether that's for your business, whether that's for somebody else, or whatever it is. I've gone over the 5 areas of focus multiple times. I'm not going to really focus on this today. You can see I literally just randomly started covering this here. But we've got lead generation, lead nurture, go through this on a really simple level, and lead conversion. For a social media marketing agency, they're gonna lead generation, and that lead might come from software or data miner, right? It's probably gonna come from one of those two, or even social media directly. The lead nurture is gonna be either this is whatever you're doing to kind of book appointments. So this is warming up the lead, whatever that may be. So again, that might be social media, it might be email, it might be cold calling, doesn't matter, irrelevant. Lead conversion is the sales. So this is your sales call. Now, what happens if you offload these two, right? Let's just say you completely offload that. Let's just mark it orange for a second, because the only thing that you end up doing is this. You might think, I'm winning, woo, I've got clients, right? But now what happens when we translate this to your service delivery? Well, lead generation, lead nurture, lead conversion. These areas still apply. For your business, for their business, it still applies. Now, generally speaking, if you're running an ads agency, you might do paid ads, right? If you're doing a B2B, you might do cold email. You might do, let's just write B2B. You might do cold email. You might do social media. Doesn't matter. Again, it's not entirely relevant on the specifics here. But the point that I'm trying to get across to you, and I hope that you're trying to I'm getting my point across clearly, is that if you miss out on these two for you, then you're only going to have to try and figure it out again for your client. But because you've already signed the client, then you're going to have to start from scratch and try and figure this out. Meaning that you're probably not going to be able to do it. You're probably going to get bad results because you don't understand how to capture attention from the market, how to elicit a response where they take an action, which is booking the call. Attention. Not really attention, but it's kind of like attention is part of this. So it's getting attention, getting the lead, getting them to trigger a reaction, which is book an appointment, and then take a sales call. If you skip out on these two steps for your own agency and you only do the sales call, then when somebody becomes a client of your agency, you don't know how to do lead generation or lead nurture, which is what most agencies do. So what that means is that even if you're going to do something different, so again, as I said, the specifics are less important here. Even if even if these look entirely different, software, data miner, social media, whereas for your lead generation, doing like paid ads, UGC content, whatever, or whatever, right? The specifics don't matter. The principles matter. The attention is the important part, and you will notice this because it doesn't matter if you do paid ads on Facebook ads or TikTok or Google or Twitter or LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. The platform doesn't matter. The goal of what you're doing is still the same. It's getting attention. So it's better for you to struggle here, learn the skills required to actually solve this problem for yourself, and then once you have those skills, once you have that experience, you know that you're able to do it for yourself, you can then go and do it for somebody else. But if you only focus on this, then you're going to have to completely learn from scratch later. The only difference is now a client's paying you and you're under more pressure to actually make it work. You make a choice. You either learn these skills now and book meetings for yourself, or you mysteriously sign a client because you got some lead gen agency that on the off chance they're performing well. They perform all of this. They take care of all of this. You got to take the sales call. You sign a client, and now you got to learn all of this completely from scratch again. Now, of course, you can get a media buyer, you can get a fulfillment contractor. That's a different conversation. And I do recommend that you do that. But the point still stands, which is that you now need to go and learn marketing. Effectively, this is what it is. This is marketing. We could set that up into marketing versus sales. I like to kind of combine those two together, but just for this thought process, the marketing is the lead gen and the lead conversion, the lead nurture, and then the sales is the conversion. Again, I don't personally subscribe to this way of thought, but for the, to help you understand this a little bit better from this perspective, there's marketing and there's sales. You need to learn marketing and you need to learn sales. Don't skip on learning marketing, prioritizing just sales. That's what would be going on here. So you'd be focusing on, okay, how can I get really, really good at sales? And then I'll just hire a media buyer. But you're skipping the fact of what's actually necessary, which is you developing skills in marketing and sales, not just sales. If you only rely on sales, you're going to miss this bit, which means that your service delivery, which generally is just this, generally we don't do that. Depending on what your offer is, generally it's not going to be taking sales calls, taking sales appointments. It's generally not going to be doing that. Generally speaking, your service delivery will most likely be either lead generation, nurture, or both. But if you skip learning how to do that for your own agency by escaping your pain and finding a lead generation agency to do that for you, then you're going to be missing on gaining those skills that you can actually lead for your service delivery. So you're just ultimately going to get really bad results. Even if you hire an amazing media buyer, you might be able to make it work a little bit, but your sales are going to struggle, your marketing is going to struggle, and you're not going to be able to speak to your clients. And that's just a really probably not a smart place to be. So I hope that this video has been able to draw a lot to you, really help you see things from a different perspective. I would say also that just a lot of the people that I speak with, quite frankly, are not getting results with lead generation agencies. And that's a separate point. But the reason that's probably happening is because the lead generation agency is thinking to themselves, okay, well, what I need to do is I have a lead generation nurture problem myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for somebody else that also has the problem. In solving their problem, I'm going to solve the problem for me. So they're kind of like using you as a playground to try different things and see what works. And it might work, but as I said before, it creates a whole load of other issues. The lead generation agency, if they're not performing right now, if they're new, they're probably not going to perform. That's the first thing. If they're new, they're probably not going to perform. If they've been around for a while, they probably are, and they're probably going to get you really good results. But you're only going to be taking the sales calls, which means you're going to be missing on this, and you're not going to be able to generate good results. It's as simple as that, because you don't understand the skills. You don't have the experience. You're not able to speak to the client properly. You need to be able to speak to the client and relate to them and say, damn, like, I understand that you're frustrated right now because our results suck. I understand that you're frustrated, but this is just part of the process. That's something you only know when you go through the trenches and you test 1,000 different things to make this work. You only truly know what it's going to take to make this work when you've been through it yourself. I really hope that I'm drawing this point home. Now, what am I saying here? I'm not saying that you shouldn't get help. I'm not saying don't learn things. In fact, that's the opposite, because what I'm saying here is that you've got a skill gap and you need to close that skill gap. You need to learn the things that you need to learn. You need to build on your skills, build on your experience, and improve this. Not offload it, improve it, get better at it. You need to get better at it. Naturally, when we're good at things, we enjoy it more. When we're more confident, confidence comes from competence, which means that if you're good at something, you're going to be more confident. That's where this stuff originates and where it comes from. So you've got to get good at it. The other thing is sometimes you need to get help. Sometimes you need help with things. And sometimes that's okay. You know, for me, I went 3 years booking 4 meetings. And then on the 4th year, so I started in 2017 to 2020, 4 meetings booked. In 2020, I signed up with my one-on-one coach, started getting help from him, and got my first few clients in the door, scaled from there. Nowadays, we're booking 40 plus calls a month onwards. And that's a level that I'm choosing to remain at, because I take the calls myself. Until I hire a sales team, I don't want to take more than that. So what am I getting at here? Well, what I'm getting at is if you've got a skill gap, work on getting the skills improved. Don't offload this to somebody else, because then you'll be a slave to them. You will lose a lot of your experience that you could have gained by just going through the trenches and understanding that this game is not supposed to be easy and that you got to go through these challenges to learn. It's kind of like can I compare it to kind of like using cheat codes on a video game, and then you don't learn the video game, you don't get the skills because you just cheated. So then when you get to the end, the last level, you don't know how to do it because like you don't have the skill or whatever, right? It's like kind of skipping ahead. So don't do that. Just be cool with it taking a little bit longer sometimes. So yeah, hope this video has been valuable. If you are an agency owner and you are looking for help booking more consistent meetings, predictably and consistently, qualified meetings, then there will be a link down below. You can go ahead and click that. It will take you to a page where it tells you a little bit more about what we do, how we work on a performance basis, and how we really help you in your agency build these systems so you can learn how to generate attention, how you can generate leads, and how you can nurture leads to get them to actually book appointments with you. And then also the sales skills, how you can do that, and then also build your service delivery system. So if you do want to check that out, if you're having some tough time right now doing that, check that out. And that link will be down below. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. I hope you found this video valuable. And see you again in the next one.